Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the 1 million Ducat challenge. The year is 1660, and I think we're doing quite well. We consolidated a lot of trade. I think our trade income went up a little bit. I was higher at one point, but I need to manage a couple of things. First of all, we need to get more trade power in Indonesia. We have 53% in is it the Malacca node? Yeah, the Malacca node. Sending 60 ducats to Zanzibar, but that could be a lot more. We actually get help by Great Britain owning a lot of Zanzibar because Great Britain is also steering towards the Cape. Well, he should be. And we're sending up a lot of trade. So yeah, that's helping. We have some areas where we can increase that amount. For instance, in Gao, we can get some more ducats by sending some ships, more ships, maybe in Bengal. And if we get some more merchants, we can even start sending a merchant to the Hanzu trade node and this one here, the Canton trade node, and send the trade down to Malacca. That's probably gonna happen before the end of the campaign. We still have 160 years to play, which is actually amazing. We're at 16k. I'm making about 200 ducats a month. And we're starting to run out on things to spend our money on. So I think I'm gonna start stockpiling a little bit of money. Of course, we have some things to do. We finally sort of fixed the sailors problem. I enacted a policy that gave me plus 25% sailors and a naval maintenance modifier. I think that got rid of a lot of sailor. That got rid of the sailor. What's it called? The sailor maintenance went down as well, so we got more sailors and the maintenance went down. So we're now actually gaining 80 sailors each month, which is perfect. Because we're building a couple of heavy ships, we're gonna queue some more here. They're taking forever to build, but I think we have to do it. Can we build them a lot quicker here, maybe? No, it's still 3 years. So yeah, we're gonna build a big heavy fleet. Well, at least we're gonna build up to 20 heavies again. I should worry though. Yes, we're almost. If we finish those 10 heavies, we're at a naval force limit. But that will probably go up soon, as we are almost at 10 provinces in Australia. Australia is now a colonial nation, and once we get to 10 provinces, that will give us 10 naval force limit. I believe it will give us a merchant, and I think it will give us 10 force limit. Or did it already give us 10 naval? No, it did not yet. So so we'll gain another 10 naval force limit, and that's multiplied by our naval force limit modifiers. Of course, we will, at the end of the campaign, we will enact this one as well, plus 33%. But for now, I think we can use some monarch points. We can still do development, and we got a bunch of policies selected. Next ID is going to be plutocratic IDs, mainly because of the plus 10% production modifier. It's huge, and I think there is some nice interaction with other IDs as well. Colonial range and settler increase with exploration. Light ship cost goes down with maritime. And a yearly Republican tradition with the economic IDs, which is really powerful. I think that's really good. And I think after that, I'm not sure what we're gonna do. I might go quantity, because I think quantity and I think there was an interaction with quantity and another ID that gave production. There was a policy that increased production. I don't know which one it was, but there is somewhere there is a there is an ID that gives us increased production efficiency. No, we don't need production efficiency, we need goods produced. So we're gonna look for that. If we can get more goods produced, I mean, goods produced is awesome. It gives us more money from the actual goods produced, but it's mainly giving us a lot of trade income. Alright, that was a very long introduction. We played for quite some time. We're gonna play a little bit more. I'm gonna build up some heavies, and we probably want to get to war here to get to consolidate these centers of trade. There is a point in time where we probably want to get Malacca as well, because we are not the leader in trade, in provincial trade power here in this node. So that means that we're missing out on a merchant. Well, we're missing out on 2 merchants in this node. So if we can become the leader in provincial trade power, and the same goes for the Philippines, that gives us 3 more merchants, 1 more merchant for this colonial nation, that's 4 merchants, 1 merchant for this colonial nation, that's 5, and then at least 1 merchant from the democratic ID. So we can get 6 more merchants. That's probably plenty. But I'm gonna hop in, I'm gonna play, and once there is something interesting, I will let you know. Oh, by the way, we are at war with Iowa, or the Shoshone, and we're gonna fully annex them for Portuguese Louisiana. We might do a little bit more conquering slash. We're might send some more settlers here so that we will get some larger colonial nations here. Probably New Portugal as well. But it doesn't really make sense for us to grow New Portugal further up north, because that the trade flows to the channel and not towards Sevilla. So we probably want to keep our expansion down here. So we're going to get one in the Amazons, or in Brazil, a new colonial nation. We might get one in colonial Plata, just to. I think we can still get 10 provinces there, so we might get some more naval force limit and a merchant out of that, but we'll see. Alright, that was way too long of an introduction. I hope you're gonna enjoy this episode. If you do, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you back with some interesting updates. We pieced out Louisiana for all its provinces. I am almost at my admin power cap, and I want to develop land, and usually I would go into this development screen. I'll check the cost and go in the province with the lowest cost, which would make sense because you get the most bang for your buck. But I recently checked the goals for the Age of Revolution, and one of them is a large capital, and a large capital is then you need a capital of 50 development or more. And since we want to have at least 3 of the objectives done in the Age of Revolution, because we want to start a golden era, we definitely need that capital. There's also the possibility that we have to conquer back 10 Gs, because there is where global trade spawned. Let me see, because we don't really have any of the other institutions. We got colonialism, we had global trade, and I think that's it in terms of institutions. So we either need a 3-star admiral, or admiral or general. I think we might get a 3-star admiral, or maybe we have one, I'm not sure. Or we need to conquer back this province to be at 3. But yeah, we got a 2-star here, and I think we got another 2-star. That's only a 1-star, but that might be possible because we have a lot of naval tradition. If we can get a little bit more, or we could just spam this button until we get a 3-star leader. So that's gonna be okay. But I'm rambling again. I'm gonna develop Lisboa. It's really expensive. I built a university, so it is 20% cheaper. I got the local development cost minus 10%, but it's still 91 points. So we're gonna develop admin first, I think, as high as we can get, and then we're gonna go with military, and How far are we from being? Yeah, I think we can. I think we can develop. Yeah, let's keep it like this. We're gonna develop until 50, and then we're gonna get the development of the other cities. Oh, we also have to do diplomatic development. I could do it in the cheapest provinces because well, that's gonna help me just get my development going. But I think we want to start developing here because if we develop here, we get more spices, and more spices means more money. I mean, look at this trade value, look at this goods produced, and we can increase that by developing here. I'm gonna pick out the spices with. We cannot develop here. Can develop here. China ware is also really good. So we're gonna develop till the costs are about the same, and then we're gonna develop here. And here in the mountains, it's actually a lot cheaper. So we're gonna develop. Let's do one more click. Alright, we've done quite some development. We grew our colonial nation here. I will be back once we do something interesting. We got another merchant, and that's because of the East African charter. I keep gaining and losing it. So we might do some development there so that we make sure that we keep that merchant. But where do I want to put it? I think I want to keep putting it here in Canton. I think I'm gonna put it there, and we're gonna make sure that we keep that merchant, and so that we we can actually get some more trade income that way. We are upgrading our two biggest trade fleets, namely the fleet in Sevilla and the fleet in Malacca. There's a lot of frigates and early frigates and it's just mainly frigates here. It's just old ships. We're gonna modernize them so we have better ships. To protect trade with, it's gonna hamper our income for a little bit during a couple of months. As you can see, our trade income halved by by doing that. Wow, fleets are so powerful. But it will make sure that we will get the full trade value once we get back with trading. We're gonna take the inflation every time because we're losing so much inflation each year. So it's never worth doing the other option. We're gonna send them back in protecting trade, and since they're maintaining, it's gonna take a couple of months before they actually protect trade. But once they're doing that, we will be making a little bit more money from trade. We need to keep a close eye on our subjects. I mean, we got 3 quite impressive colonial nations. I mean, the Caribbean or the Caribbeans is more than 250 development. Portuguese Colombia has 235. And Portuguese Mexico is really massive with more than 400 development. So these are quite impressive subjects. The downside to that is that they get a lot of liberty desire from that all that development. So we need to keep a close eye on that. Luckily, in the age of Revolution, there is a reward that you can pick that reduces liberty desire from development by 33%. So that's really gonna help us keeping that liberty desire in check. But for now, we have to keep a close eye on them and just keep sending our diplomats and work on our relation, actually, because we haven't improved relations for a long time. So that's what we're gonna do. In the meantime, we're gonna declare on these little guys here. We're gonna declare the war, we're gonna squash their army, and they are gone. There was something that I wanted to do with these guys. We have to wait until the diplomat is back, but we're gonna give them some subsidies, and hopefully they start colonizing. I wanted to do that a long time ago, but I forgot to do that. So we're gonna subsidize these guys. Hopefully they grow, and then later on we might annex them, or we'll see what we do with them. We got a call to arms from one of our allies, which I didn't even know it was one of our allies, and that's this tiny little state here. I think this used to be. I think I somehow somehow popped out of Malacca and I allied it. I don't remember. But Spain is determined on conquering it. Now that little guy is requesting my aid, and I checked the ledger, and I don't think it is a good idea to accept it. Yes, I have the biggest fleet in the world. I have almost twice the number of ships as Great Britain. But I'd have to fight Spain and the 60 heavies of Spain. Although I have 385 light ships, I don't want to get them all sunk by the Spanish Armada. So I think we're gonna decline. It is a good sign, however, that I have such a big force limit advantage over Spain, and I can get a lot more ships. I can get at least 100 more force limit by enacting a single policy. So that's actually really good for me to know, because I will probably do that later, somewhere in the 18th century. I will probably enact a policy, compound a bunch of heavies, and start to conquer some key points, hopefully, in Spain, and maybe some. I don't know. I kind of want to avoid the. From now on, I kind of want to avoid conflict as much as possible. I kind of have to conquer Malacca a little bit because it hampers me in getting the trade. I mean, I got 54% of the trade power here, but there's still a lot of money still sitting here, which I kind of want to bring back to Spain. So I kind of want to get these centers of trade, and also because I want the provincial trade power for the extra merchants. But I kind of want to keep it as peaceful as possible with Spain. I mean, I am by far the biggest trade power here. I mean, look at Spain. He is embargoed by Portugal, by France. My embargo is so powerful on him. So I got so much trade power here. I don't even need Sevilla. It probably would give me, how much is he making? Collects 27. So let's say that we get Sevilla, which is his best province. That would up my trade power to 2200, maybe 2300 with my bonus. So I don't know how it would shift, but it would give me a couple of percent. Not even that much. Maybe I will go to 85. So yes, that would mean that I would get about maybe 20 ducats more with my. Yeah, that would mean 40 ducats in trade income, which is actually quite a lot each month. So maybe it is worth it. Maybe it is worth it in the end, because the trade income will only increase from now on. I mean, there's still a lot of provinces to be settled here, and all these guys are sending the trade through Europe. So there's still quite a lot of money to be gained there. But today is not today, so we're gonna decline the call to arms. If I want to go to Sevilla, I want it to be a good coordinated action. I want to have my entire army basically here, so that I can pop a couple of guys on Sevilla, siege it down as fast as I can. There is no fort, so it would be to siege. And then, ooh, he has a level 2 castle in Toledo. I should have checked that, because I could have gone in with these guys and I could have gotten his capital so easy. Wow, that's actually a really good thing to know. I'm gonna bring another 20 stack home. I know I have some conquering to do in India, but I should also work on a transport fleet to actually get my armies somewhere. I got 100k troops, and I have no way to transporting them all at once. So I probably should get at least 40 transport ships. But that's something for the next episode. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. There's not a whole lot that happened here, but yeah, that was just kind of the goal of this campaign, just peaceful colonization. That's why I'm doing it this way, with only the highlights, because otherwise you will have a bunch of content me just waiting for time to go by. There's a bunch of land to be colonized here, so that's our next goal, to go in here and colonize Brazil and have a nice big Brazil for our own. Have another big colonial nation with a lot of development, because the subject income, the tariffs, is actually it's actually quite decent, even with a very low amount of tariffs. It's actually fairly nice. And as you can see, we lost the East African charter guy again. I don't know. Yeah, we are at 113. It's just as soon as someone develops there in the province, we lose it. Yeah, the advantage. So we probably should try to attack Sofola or something. He has barely any allies. He's allied to Mombasa. This is Mombasa. So yeah, we probably should get some troops here. About 20k would be enough, I think. And conquer a couple of these provinces just to make sure that we will be continuously above the 50% mark. And these are some good provinces. I mean, ivory, gems, and gold. Yes, please. These three I would like to have. This would be nice as well. The iron, really good trade, good to have. So yeah, maybe I will go in there and conquer these. I will probably do that just to make sure that I have that merchant always. And it has been carved up by British East Africa, so that will be quite easy to get. So that's our next goal here, is to let's not bring that army to our homeland just yet. Let's bring it here. Yes, I think we want to conquer this first, and then we are going to plan some sort of quick invasion in Spain. I think if we can get his capital, if we can somehow block his fleet in a port, and just make sure that it stays in a port and it doesn't go out there, we'd have to fight Great Britain as well. So yeah, maybe it was, I think we may even made a mistake there by declining that call to arms, because if we accepted it, we meant that we would have to fight Spain. I'm not sure. I don't think I would have become war leader there, but that's the other thing. I could have accepted the call to arms, but then I would be at the grace of this little guy to actually see if I can get some land. So yeah, we're gonna look out for some way to get Sevilla, and I'd like to have Tangiers back. He's allied to a bunch of guys. Maybe I can do some threaten wall. Is this still a core of me? No, I don't think so. No, I lost my core because it's not my culture. But that's for the next episode. We have some stuff to do. We have some things to prepare. And hopefully next episode we can grow a little bit more and we can work on a trade income. We started with 300 something, now we are at 300 something, well, almost 400 trade income, a total income of more than 500 ducats, and the balance is plus 200 ducats. Yeah, if we were to get rid of all our colonies, we would make almost 350 ducats each month, which is not enough yet to get to 1 million with this pace. We'd have to get a balance of plus 1,000 at the year, a little bit above 70-25, because that would basically be 1,000 months. I'm calculating it like that. So maybe if we were to get to 500 plus from now on, we smooth sailing until the end of the game. But I think there's still a lot more income to be had, so it's gonna be fine. This video is going on for way too long. I'm sorry for that. I hope you enjoyed. If you do, make sure to subscribe and like the video. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.